Hello, Ryan here, and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday. This is a weekly show which covers all of the news from the week just past. Be sure to subscribe if you like what you see, and let's get on with it. This week, we learn about what it took to get the Vanduul carrier into the PU. We get the first visual insight into how hacking is going to look. Plus, we get the latest on the Ares Starfighter, the Redeemer, and more during this week's Inside Star Citizen. So this week's Inside Star Citizen kicked off taking a look at what it took to get the Vanduul carrier into the persistent universe. Now the Vanduul has a lot of older issues, and so CIG saw this as a great opportunity to go in and fix a lot of these old legacy issues to bring the Vanduul up to the current ship standard. They have been working on the Vanduul for a long time now, of course for Squadron 42 specifically, but they felt Invictus allows them to push certain tech that they will need later down the line. So it's a great opportunity to get it all working and tested now so that A, it's ready for Squadron 42, and B, it doesn't take so long to get it into the PU afterwards. So they started by looking at the engines, which originally was a single thruster, and they are now smaller and include a few more of varying sizes, plus set them up to actually work as thrusters as they weren't before, and the same goes for the maneuvering thrusters as well. From here, they looked at the weapons, and the Vanduul carrier actually has over 90 turrets, with the majority of them all at the front. So they needed to replace them, redesign them, and spread them out evenly across the ship. And of course, it certainly needed optimizing as well, as it was extremely performance heavy, in particular due to all the turrets and bridge seats, all of which cost on performance as they are usually manned by physical NPCs. Some initial performance work they did was to hide many aspects of the ship behind viz areas, so it wouldn't have to render everything in, which did help, they say, but they also used AI modules to control the turrets instead of actual functioning NPCs like in the other ships. Now this did have a few issues, as they have never done this before at this scale, but they did end up creating a new AI turret module, which gave a huge performance boost. This also means that they are another step closer to having unmanned AI turrets on ships, and better ways to optimize how they have AI crew on board ships too. So bringing the Vanduul into the PU for Invictus really helped with a lot of issues that would have arisen anyway. Plus, it also sounds like these AI modules could be AI blades eventually, so getting them working now could be a bit of a quicker step to getting them into the persistent universe. Anyway, from there we had a new sprint report. Kicking this week's report off, we saw a newly completed UI sprint where they are porting many of the transit signs found throughout the persistent universe to newer and more robust building blocks tech. This allows for easier swapping of styles and themes, as we have heard about in the past, and it's also far more efficient and less intensive on performance, which leads to way more performance gains as it is used throughout the verse. The character team is close to completing the Greycat armor, which we saw with the release of the Greycat ROC. This is designed to support mining operations, and I personally love the look of this armor. It is one of my favorite ones. As well as this backpack, hopefully we'll have varying types and sizes of backpacks to put onto this Greycat armor. And I just can't wait to get it in game. I will certainly snap one or many of them up. I do wonder though, in what way it will support mining. Is it just going to be like what we have already, where you can just fill up the backpacks? Hopefully there's a little more to it. The props team have recently begun exploring various chips and ports to support the upcoming hacking gameplay, currently scheduled for Alpha 3.15, so around September time. Now they said expect to see a variety of high and low tech options, as these were more designed just to help determine what visual direction to take. They also created a little animatic to help see how it all works together, along with a sneak peek at the hacking visual interface. Jared did say that he will show a lot more of this off on Inside Star Citizen next quarter, and I'm personally really liking the look of the art direction they're taking here, but I would love to know more about how the hacking gameplay will work. Will it be skill based? Will it use a variety of tools and devices and require different techniques? Or is it just going to be more of a mini game? That is what I'm really interested in knowing. For the Redeemer, we got to see the current continued progress on its interior. This was white box progress on the manned turret, remote turret bay, and habitation module. You can clearly see that this is an Aegis ship, and it's probably going to be quite a beast when we get this into the game. Vehicle teams have begun looking at the Constellation's dash controls as they prepare to convert it to use the updated interactive cockpit experience. This involves the player character's hands physically reaching out and touching the buttons, talking of which the buttons here are temporary placeholders as it is still intended to use touchscreen MFDs. The Ares Starfighter, also scheduled for 3:15, is making its way through white box phase, which I think is going to be a very fun ship to get in game. And continuing with Crusader, we got to take a look at the Crusader shuttle, which has been designed to ferry players around from platform to platform at Orison. Now, apparently they are not going to be available for sale, but that may change one day if we pester John Crew enough. So let's get pestering. And finally, we got to see some images of Orison at night being touched up by the lighting team as they try to create a unique atmosphere from Orison in the daytime. Very excited to get exploring Orison. It looks like it's going to be my new home. Anyway, that was Inside Star Citizen. A pretty decent episode this week. Lots progressing, all of which I am looking forwards to. There was nothing on there that I wasn't interested in. But with that said, let us move on. So also this week, Star Citizen Live was with Pedro Camacho, who is one of the composers responsible for all of the music found within the Persistent universe. A great episode if music is your thing. We had a new lore post titled Archives Jean Emperor Letter, which shares a letter given by the Jean Emperor to celebrate his centennial. The roadmap was updated this week too, which I have covered in a separate video linked in the description below. Don't worry, it wasn't as heartbreaking as the last one. And finally, both the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42 monthly reports were released. I have already broken down the Squadron 42 report into a video, also linked in the description, with my Persistent Universe report coverage due to release early next week. So that brings us to the end of the show. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. Also, I am able to do this thanks to my very generous patrons and channel members. If you appreciate what I do and would like to help make it even better from as little as $1 a month, all of the links are provided below.